You do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down and please state your first and last name for the record.
Vanessa Martinez Ruiz.
And her counsel, would you please identify yourself for the record?
My name is Charcelyn Mitchell.
And counsel for the state.
Gabriel Artiaga with the Office of Attorney General.
Okay. Carlos Ruez. Carlos Ruez. He failed to appear today. He has not filed an answer to the state's lawsuit. I do see that apparently he has called in to the clerk's office stating he will be unable to attend court today. That was noted yesterday. Also, the court will take judicial notice of a proposed order that the Attorney General's office filed on October the 11th, 2024 in this case, which was a child support review order suit affecting the parent-child relationship, where the Attorney General's office had a negotiation conference on October the 11th, 2024, where both parties appeared for the negotiation conference. And court also notes that only the custodial parent, Ms. Martinez, signed the proposed order, that Mr. Ruiz did not sign the proposed order. He stands in default, and counsel for the state, you may proceed with your proposed default.
Thank you, Judge. The state's going to call Ms. Ruiz first. And ma'am, I understand you did sign the state's proposed order that was issued on October 11th, correct?
Yes, sir.
But after discussing the case, it's my understanding that you no longer agree with the terms that were in that proposed order. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So I'm going to start with the paternity questions. You are the mother of the child, correct?
Yes, sir.
And who is the father?
Carlos Ruiz III.
And have you ever been married either to Mr. Ruiz or to anybody else?
Just to Mr. Ruiz.
Was the child born during your marriage?
Yes.
And how old is the child?
She is 12.
Could anybody else be the father of this child?
No.
Have there ever been any incidents of family violence between you and Mr. Ruiz?
No.
You never had to call the police or get a protective or restraining order or anything like that?
No.
Was that a no?
No, no, sir.
Okay, thank you. How is the child's relationship with Mr. Ruiz?
He was in prison since she was 3 weeks old, and he was out in 2021.
So
he maybe
hold
had
on. One second there.
And I'm sorry, I should have asked you, how much time are you requesting for your default, counsel?
10 or 15 minutes.
And Ms. Mitchell?
That's the same, Judge.
Okay, I'll set it for 15 minutes. Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. So Ms. Ruiz, you said he was in prison from when the child was 3 weeks old.
Yeah.
What year was the child born? Let's start with that.
2012.
And what year? So he was in prison in 2012?
Yes.
And when did he get out?
2021, I believe May of 2020. May of 2021. Yes.
Okay. Has he seen the child since he got out?
He saw her for a little bit in 2021 to maybe mid 2022.
Okay.
And then the relationship stopped. He stopped coming around to see her.
So when was the last time that he actually saw this child?
2022. July 2022.
When he was in prison, did he have any communication with the child?
Yes, phone calls. He would send her stuff,
Okay. So how would you say her relationship is with her father, just in general?
Well, she doesn't have any type of communication with him since 2022, so they don't have any type of relationship.
Okay.
And that's his choice.
And do you know where he's currently living today?
He is living in Las Vegas currently.
Do you know if that's a permanent thing, or is that just a temporary living situation?
It's supposed to be temporary, but I'm not sure how long it is going to last. I know it's supposed to be temporary.
Okay. And just to confirm, was the child conceived in Texas?
Yes, she was conceived in Texas.
Okay. Are you asking to be appointed sole managing conservator of this child today?
Yes,
And you're asking for no geographic restriction, correct?
correct.
What are you asking for as far as visitation?
I would like for them to establish a relationship. You know, initially, I know that he lives in Las Vegas, so I don't feel comfortable with her traveling to Las Vegas, especially since she doesn't have a relationship with him. I would just like them to establish something first, and then, you know, we can renegotiate a more, you know, extensive visitation at some point in the future.
Ma'am, has he even talked to her in the last 2 years?
No.
Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Now, the state's proposed order was going to be for no visitation until further order from the court. Would you be in agreement with that? And with the understanding that if he wants visitation or wants to request visitation, he can always request a modification to the court, right?
Ms.
Ms. Ruiz.
Ruiz, he's asking you the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely. He can request at any point.
Okay. So I'll move on. How's the child currently covered for insurance?
I pay for her insurance through my employer.
Okay, so the state has calculated, and these numbers are going to be the same numbers that were on the non-agreed CSRP, but you're still in agreement with the child support of $770 per month starting December 1st, correct?
Yes.
And the state is also still proposing the medical support of $160 per month starting December 1st. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Do you agree with the dental support of $21 per month starting December 1st?
Yes.
Is it correct that you are requesting retroactive child support?
Yes, sir.
When was the last time? Well, what date are you requesting?
I'm sorry, counsel, but I'm gonna have to interrupt. What is that based on if he's living in Las Vegas and I'm asking the state?
Based on the information that we had available to us, we've got data from our source.
For this year?
Yeah, recent data.
Great. Okay. I just heard the Las Vegas and okay.
I understand. And
Okay.
it's my understanding the address he gave us, and you'll notice even in the non-agreed CSRP, it is a Texas address. He gave us a San Antonio address. So I have reason to believe that he is temporarily in Vegas and I guess intends to come
You
back
may
to Texas at some
proceed.
point.
I
Yeah.
wanted to know your basis. You may
Thank
proceed.
you, Judge. Ms. Ruiz, you're asking for retroactive support starting from I calculated from January 1st of 2020 through present. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the state's calculated amount after giving him credit for some payments made to you is $17,000 for a judgment on retroactive support. Do you agree with that?
I do.
And we're asking that he pay that off at $135 per month starting December 1st. Do you agree with that?
I do agree.
And if your contact info appears in the order today, would that give you any safety concerns for yourself or the child?
I do have some concerns. Just I don't know.
So is it concerns from Mr. Ruiz or from some third parties?
I would say Mr. Ruiz, just, you know,
Okay. Let me ask you this, because you said there's no family violence between y'all, right? Do
correct.
you believe that he would harm you or the child, or threaten to harm you or the child, or maybe harass and I don't know, call you constantly or anything like that?
I think it's just more because of his history, his criminal history that I worry. I've never had any issues with him before, but I've never been in this type of situation to where he's going to have to pay, you know, a substantial amount of money for support. And, you know, it does concern me a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
What was he in prison for, ma'am?
It was a drug-related conspiracy charge.
Okay. Go ahead, counsel. I wanted to know.
Any other criminal history that concerns you in particular?
I just his associations, I would say.
Okay. So you're requesting that your contact information not appear in the order today, is that correct?
That would make me feel better, yes.
Okay. I'll
Thank
pass the witness.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes. Ms. Ruiz, you heard all of the agreements that all of the things that the Attorney General proposed today, correct?
Correct.
And we've had a chance to discuss and talk about everything that we're putting in this order.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. And you do believe that while there's been no family violence because he's been in prison, you do believe that, you know, there are some safety concerns for yourself if he were to know your address or know your phone number or is able to reach you in certain ways, correct?
Mostly my address.
Okay. And so you're requesting that there are non-disclosure findings so that, you know, you don't have to, so that you're not exposed or you're in fear of any danger from Mr. Ruiz.
Yes.
Okay. And we've gone over the numbers and you're okay with the numbers that the Attorney General has calculated with regard to the child support, the retroactive child support, the dental support, and the medical support.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you are requesting that there not be any visitations until further order of the court.
Correct.
Okay. I'll pass this witness.
Court will enter the default order as requested, as well as the non-disclosure finding in favor of Ms. Ruiz. Court costs assessed to the respondent 60 days from today's date. Thank you. You're free to go. Have a great day, and you will, along with your counsel, receive a copy of this order via your emails today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Judge.
You're welcome.
May you be excused.
Yes, you may.